2007, Assassin's Creed introduced players to a new kind of historical experience. A game built around stealth, parkour, and the idea that history itself could be explored. Less than 2 decades later, that same franchise now resembles a massive open-world RPG filled with loot systems, progression mechanics, and hundreds of hours of content. So, what happened? Why did Assassin's Creed change so drastically? And more importantly, was it evolution or survival? Today we're opening the archive. The first Assassin's Creed launched in 2007, with a very clear and deliberate design philosophy. The game was built around social stealth, crowd blending, parkour-driven movement, and historically grounded urban environments. Players stepped into the role of Altair ibn Lahad, navigating dense cityscapes such as Jerusalem, Acre and Damascus during the Third Crusade. Unlike many action games of the time, the experience was intentionally structured and methodical. Cities were divided into districts, and each assassination required investigation before execution. Players gathered information through eavesdropping, pickpocketing and reconnaissance before striking. At launch, some critics noted repetition in the investigation loop, but from a technical and conceptual standpoint, the system was groundbreaking. Few games had previously attempted to simulate living historical cities populated by large crowds that reacted dynamically to player behavior. Assassin's Creed 2, released in 2009, significantly expanded this foundation. The sequel introduced larger, more varied cities such as Florence and Venice, economic systems that allowed players to upgrade equipment, and more fluid movement. The narrative also placed strong emphasis on character development through Ezio Auditore. Assassin's Creed 2 is widely regarded as a title that cemented the franchise as one of Ubisoft's defining properties. Between 2007 and 2011, the series leaned heavily into its stealth-driven identity. The goal was not to create a role-playing progression system, it was to simulate the fantasy of being a calculated assassin operating inside believable historical settings. Following the success of Assassin's Creed 2, Ubisoft shifted toward a yearly release model. Brotherhood launched in 2010, followed by Revelations in 2011 and Assassin's Creed 3 in 2012. Each installment introduced new mechanics designed to expand the scope of the series. Brotherhood allowed players to recruit and manage fellow assassins. Revelations refined traversal systems and narrative connections. Assassin's Creed 3 introduced large frontier environments and early naval gameplay mechanics. Those naval elements later became a defining pillar of Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, released in 2013. Black Flag received widespread praise for its open-world exploration and ship-based gameplay. For many players, commanding a pilot vessel became the most memorable aspect of the experience. This marked a noticeable shift. The assassin fantasy remained present, but the open world itself was becoming the primary attraction. At the same time, yearly releases began producing fatigue among both critics and players. By 2014, Assassin's Creed Unity launched during the transition to new console hardware. Unity featured an ambitious recreation of revolutionary era Paris, including unprecedented architectural details and dense crowds. However, the launch was heavily impacted by technical issues. Performance problems, bugs, and widely circulated graphical glitches dominated early public perception. Despite this ambition, the negative reception slowed the franchise momentum. Syndicate followed in 2015. While more stable, it failed to generate the same level of excitement as earlier entries. This period marked a critical realization for Ubisoft. The existing formula, even when improved technically, was no longer enough to guarantee long-term growth. For the first time since 2009, the franchise passed its annual release cycle. In 2017, Assassin's Creed Origins launched after a 1-year development gap. Rather than continuing incremental updates, the game fundamentally redesigned the structure of the series. Origins introduced leveling systems, gear rarity tiers, and hitbox-based combat. Ancient Egypt was presented as a large, continuous open world, encouraging exploration. The narrative reframed the series by depositing the earliest formation of the Assassin's Brotherhood. This direction continued with Odyssey in 2018 and Valhalla in 2020. These entries leaned further into role-play mechanics, including dialogue choices, character builds, and significantly expanded maps. The experience increasingly resembled historical RPG platform rather than a stealth-focused action game. The shift aligned with broader industry trends, favoring large, long-form, open-world experiences. Several factors drove this transformation. Market expectations shifted towards larger worlds, deeper progression systems, and longer engagement. Annual releases caused franchise fatigue. A reinvention was necessary to remain commercially valuable. The RPG structure also broadened to the audience. Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla attracted players who had never previously engaged with Assassin's Creed, functioning as standalone historical experiences. Whether Assassin's Creed lost its identity remains a subject of ongoing debate. Earlier entries emphasized social stealth, dense urban traversal, and carefully planned assassinations. More recent installments prioritize exploration, character progression, and open-ended gameplay. Some players view this evolution as a natural expansion. Others interpret it as the erosion of a once distinct gameplay identity. Objectively, the franchise shifted from a stealth-focused historical action experience into a broader historical RPG platform. Assassin's Creed did not change overnight. Its evolution unfolded gradually, shaped by technology, market expectations, and the realities of sustaining a massive franchise. Whether the transformation improved the series depends on what players valued most. What remains certain is that Assassin's Creed did not simply follow trends. It adapted to survive them. This archive remains open. New case files release every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.